Superior filibustering is such good exercise. Listen, okay, if I can lose weight just by talking, man, oh, if you could lose weight just by talking, bro, I'd be fucking 2 pounds. Like, I wouldn't even exist anymore. I talk so much. Can you imagine? If I burned 500 calories in 2 hours. Imagine me talking for 24 hours straight. That'd be nutty. I'm like real sweaty right now. Like, I'm smelling that swamp ass. But then something great came out of it, and that typically happens every Hi, Brandon. I'm like so scared of swimming by myself in any pool of any body of water that I don't swim as often as I feel like I should. Water is the enemy. It is. When wait, no, but this story, so there's a reason why I don't really swim, and if I swim, I have to be with other people. So when I was, okay, listen to this. Hold on, I gotta take off my glasses for this because I'm sweating. So listen to this story. When I was a kid, my sister, who bullied me throughout my entire life because my sister was just like that, she decided, I'm gonna make Amelia, 5-year-old Amelia, I was getting started with the story. I feel like that was really good timing. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, hello everybody. I'm telling a story. So, when I was a kid, when I was a young warthog. I don't know why that immediately came up in my head. Anyway, I was 5, and my sister thought it was a good idea to make me watch Jaws as a child, okay? I was very small. I was a very, very fearful child when I was a kid. How old was your sister at the time? She was born 1994. I was born 1997. I can never remember. 95, 96, 97. She's like 3 years older than me. So she was like 6, 7, 8. She was 8. Whatever. The point is, my sister decided, oh, it's a good idea to get me to watch Jaws, right? My mom was like, no, don't let her watch Jaws. My mom didn't really care because my mom was just like that. Basically, what ended up happening was I watched it with her, and I was scared and scarred for the rest of my life from that point onward. I was so afraid of sharks, and things that happened later on in life would only further validate my fears. So as you know, I live in Miami, Florida, and in Florida in general, there's a place known as Orlando that has something known as Universal Studios, which used to have a Jaws ride. So after I watched Jaws, I was so afraid of water. I was so afraid of sharks in general. I couldn't even be bathed in a bathtub by myself because I was afraid of a shark eating me in a bathtub. But to be fair, I was 5. So like, you can't really blame me for thinking that because like I saw water, I was really small. I saw a body of water and I was like, that's it. Jaws is going to fucking gobble me up, bitch. Like that's it. Like I'm dead. So I couldn't go in the bathtub by myself. I would basically have to be bathed with someone else always. So when we would go swimming, obviously, because we live in Miami. There's a beach, there's pools, there's everything, right? My sister knew I was afraid of sharks. She knew I was afraid of swimming in water by myself. So what did my sister do? My sister would trick me into doing handstands in the swimming pool, and then she would run out of the water while I was underwater. I would come up for air and she'd start laughing at me from outside of the pool and be like, a shark's gonna get you, ha ha ha. And I remember I would panic because I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Like, that's it, I'm gonna fucking die. Yeah, she was really messed up. My sister was like a bully. My sister was a big bully. And it wasn't even just her. It was also my half-sister, Jessica, who is older. She did it to me too when she came down to visit from Germany. So I was like, my sisters fucking hate me, dude. They fucking hate me. Did you know there are more deaths per year by cows than sharks, and most are intentional? I know. Listen, I'm afraid of sharks, right? But I don't think that they should die. And I know logically it's so unlikely for me to get eaten by a shark. That is so unlikely. But you have to understand, I was a child. I was a baby. I didn't know. I love cows. It would be a pleasure to be killed by a cow. Anyway, so they would basically do that to me, and I was whatever. So I got a little bit older, like maybe like 2-3 years later. We went to Universal Studios with a friend of my mother's named and her children. She was mean. Like, she was so mean. Like, she was one mean lady. Like, she was rough. And I remember I didn't want to go on the Jaws ride because I was like, no, I don't want to go. Like, I'm really scared. Like, I can't go. She grabbed me by my wrist and she pulled me onto the ride. She put me on the ride next to where the shark would come up and bite down on the boat. And she sat me there and she forced me to stay there. So during the ride, I was freaking out. I was screaming bloody murder. I was so fucking terrified. I was terrified. And when the shark came up, bitch, I fucking dove to the ground. I was like, I'm not dying today. No, sir, I'm not dying today. I dove to the ground and I was screaming. I was so terrified. I was scared. And think about this, right? I was like 7, 8 at this time. Like this was a few years later because I watched the movie when I was like 5. So I watched it a little bit later and I've had all these experiences where I already have anxiety being in water. Like, I already had anxiety being in water. I was already afraid of sharks. Like, it was terrifying. So then she put me through that. And after we got off the ride, had no problem whooping my ass in front of everybody after we got off the ride. She whooped the fuck out of me. Me, like a 7, 8-year-old kid, for freaking out. Yeah, because I was crying. Because I was scared. And she was like, she was telling me I couldn't cause a scene. So here's the thing, right? So like, I was already used to that because I dealt with that all the time because of my babysitter. But it just, when I think about it now, like, not that it wasn't traumatizing, because that was pretty traumatizing. I went through something super scary, and like, this woman is just beating me in front of a bunch of people because I, a 7-year-old child, was scared of a shark. Like, you're not, like, I'm pretty sure you're not even supposed to take children on that ride. Like, and I'm like a literal actual child, and you're not supposed to take me on there. So like, how is that my fault that I freaked out? Like, you're just gonna beat me in front of all these people? Crazy. How dare you, a child, experience trauma, right? It was just whatever. So that was really horrible. Like, that was just a really horrible experience. I did not have fun at Universal Studios. I did not have a good time. I was like, you know what? Can I go home? Like, I don't like this. Anyway, so continuing on into the future, I realize I am not going to be eaten by a shark in a pool. I realize that. I've gathered that. And if I go to the beach, it's quite unlikely that I think there are more opportunities for me to be eaten by an alligator than for me to be eaten by a shark. Like, I realized that. Like, living throughout these years, I get it, right? I understand. But to this day, I still have anxiety swimming in water by myself. So I cannot go to the pool by myself. If I want to go to my pool, my community pool, and swim laps, hell no, I'm not doing that. I'm not stepping a foot in that water, because if I step in even a toe by myself, I'm gonna have a panic attack. And it's the same thing with the beach. If I go in there by myself, hell no. I'm so afraid of deep water. I'd rather be launched into space and into a black hole than be put into the very depths of the sea. I am more afraid of deep water than I am of space. I'd rather be in space. Please send me to space. Send me somewhere else. I don't want to be at the bottom of the sea, please. Like, that is so terrifying to me. It's also one of the reasons why I don't like cruises very much. I enjoy the concept of a cruise. I don't like being on a cruise ship, bro. That shit scares me. Let's go back and we can go to the HP world. I have an annual pass, so I go back all the time. And you want to know something? Jaws don't exist no more. It's gone. They replaced it with Gringotts Bank. They replaced it with Diagon Alley. So fuck you, Jaws. They still have the hanging shark though. I don't think they're ever gonna get rid of that. I thought I would be really scared of a cruise before I went on a cruise, but then I had demonic dream the whole time, so maybe I am still afraid. I've been on multiple cruises because my mom loves to travel, but it's a good experience if you're not afraid of dying in deep water. So if you're afraid of that, you know, don't go on a cruise. Because I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of being in deep water. I refuse to go near a body of water. I have my feet planted on the floor at all times. I am here for the intellectual parts of life, nothing athletic. I can't. I can't do it by myself. I don't mind swimming. I'm a good swimmer, okay? I'm a good, strong swimmer, okay? These arms, strong. I can go back and forth. I can go laps, bro. But if I'm in the water by myself, I'm not doing anything except crying. I will do nothing except cry. That is it. That is all I will do. She just needs to be able to outswim someone. Exactly. I need competition. I'm strong. I need someone else to be the bait. Wait, me and Javi's dad were talking about this. And I was like, and he was saying, like, I mean, if you're afraid of like, you know, a shark eating you, like, what would having another person there do? And like, what about that, like, will change anything? I'm like, cause then they get eaten first. It was a joke, but like, it was a joke because I don't actually think that way. I don't know, because the thing is, the fear isn't that I'm gonna be eaten by a shark anymore. It's just I have like anxiety now being in water. Like, I have a really, really strong anxiety with it. So having someone else there is like, oh, this is comforting. I almost drowned when I was 8. That's terrifying. Wait, how did you almost drown? But yeah, so that's why I'm afraid of deep water. Now you guys know. And wait, just to add one last thing. I had a friend who validated my fear once, okay? So it turns out that after a hurricane, a shark ended up in a pool on Miami Beach. And the owners of the pool found the shark in their pool. So, I mean, I know. So it's valid. I do have a reason to be afraid. Never go swimming in pools after hurricane flooding. Got it. Yeah. Listen, me and water, we just have a bad relationship, which is pretty ironic considering I'm a Pisces. You would think that I'd have a really good relationship with water. I think looking at water, very calming. Being far away from the water and being able to look out on it and be like, that's some nice water. You know, that I can do. Me in the water by myself? I'll pass. It's not my preference. Listen, I always think about it. I'm like, would I ever be able to go? Like, I'm also afraid of heights. I'm afraid of a lot of things. I'm afraid of roaches. I have a jewelry phobia. I got a lot of weird shit going on with me. But then I'm also not afraid of a lot of different things. Like, listen, okay. If I can come on Twitch cry my eyes out, literally bawl my eyes out to like, I think at the time I was like, what, streaming to over like 10 people or something. When I'm like having a mental breakdown, if I can embarrass myself constantly having breakdowns on social media, but I can't fucking swim in the ocean.